よろしくな。お前は強いのか。
Hey everyone, it's CurlyHairedVanguard, and today we're gonna have a chill little session here playing some Vanguard 0 as I cosplay as some sort of discount superhero because it is freezing cold where I live, both the state and the actual home, because my heater's not working. So we're going to be doing some rank fights in 0 here. And I've got a somewhat interesting deck for you today. It is actually Dungree. Dungree Unlimited. From all the way from like set, I don't know, 8? 6? Something like that, of the Limit Break era. And I've started messing around with this deck a little bit as soon as G was announced. I was really excited for G, not because of like the actual G stuff coming to 0, but because they actually went back and they updated, or rather buffed, a bunch of the older cards, which I thought was really cool. The problem with that, at least for us in the global version, global being, you know, because the way Vanguard 0 works is that they have a Japanese server and then there's a global server where the entire world plays for some reason, is that we didn't really get a chance to experiment with those buffs as much as maybe we would have liked to. The reason for that is because when the buffs came out in the Japanese server, they actually had a sort of buy month where there was no new updates, no new sets. So they actually had time to like mess around with those buffs and eventually find out that they weren't really that great to begin with. And then they got the new G stuff to play with. For us, they skipped that all entirely and gave us the G stuff immediately, which I feel like made pretty much everyone, except for maybe like me and like 2 other people, forget about the actual buffs. So, speaking of the buffs, one of them is to Dungree here. It is not to the Dungree Unlimited, which is the cross ride for this, but it is for the regular Dungree, which helps the cross ride. Unfortunately, things aren't looking too good for me, but the buff that they gave the regular Dungree is that now, if you have a Dungree Vanguard on place, or not on place, when he's on rearguard circle, you can counterblast 1, put him into the soul, and add 1 of your cards from the bind zone to your hand, which is really good. We're going to go ahead and bind 3 cards here. Interesting. The other thing that makes this great is the fact that I can actually go ahead and stride in situations like this where I just couldn't have really done much otherwise, especially considering that it's a Limit Break deck. I'm at, 2 damage. I can't really do anything right now. So I can go ahead and stride and actually do some stuff. And it does actually let me bind again, because for some reason it counts it as playing Dungree again. So what I can do here is, since this is Cowgirl, I know it's Blade Master, they're going to go ahead and snipe me eventually. As much as I would like to get the PG, we're going to go ahead and grab the grade 3 Dungree Unlimited so we can ride that next turn, have a cross ride, and actually have our effect alive. But for now, I think I'd rather survive. So let's go ahead and play down one of these, sacrifice one of these to, what's his name, Blade Masters, and all his strides effect in a bit. We're going to go ahead and attack here, see if we can get something. Gonna get nothing, which is fine. Gonna go ahead and retire his Degrade, and then we can actually go ahead and bind it, which is really good because you can't use it for Legion. And since we both retired and bind, we can make use of these 2 cards here. So we've got the grade 1 Dragon Dancer Storm. You play 4 of these. Whenever a unit is retired, one of your opponent's rear guards is retired, she gets 3k each time it happens, which is really good. So she can do a really good booster. Then we have the Desert Gunner Showrun from the Vanquisher clan event. And whenever a card is bound, if he's in, if you have Degeneration Break 1, he can get an additional 3,000, which is good. So they kind of stack. Because of that, and the fact that I'm constantly binding cards from the top of my deck, I actually play stand triggers, which is really cool because we have the new Dragon Dancer Vivian stand trigger, which whenever a unit is retired on your opponent's side of the field, you can put her back into the deck, get a stand back in deck, and draw a card, but also countercharge, which is really good, because the only way that I could countercharge before was with Garuda. So now let's go ahead and play our Dungree UNLIMITED. And I don't think we need to stride. Generally, you just need to stride if you don't have any other options, or if you want to go into GB1 to get that live. But we can go ahead and play out these two guys. They're both going to be able to hit. This one's not really going to be able to do anything unless I play another booster, which I don't think I will. But we're just going to throw this here. We can go ahead and use our limit break to counterblast 2. He can retire one of your opponent's front row, and if you have 3 or more cards in your bind, he gets an additional crit. Now we can go ahead and piece out that sand trigger for later and get an additional card, which is great, because now I can actually, oops, not you, might need that if I need to stride, play this here. Fortunately, she's not going to get the boost, since we played her after we retired something, but that's fine. We can actually make pretty good attack here. If they don't have any PGs, which we know Kagura always has 1 in hand, we can actually win here. Gonna get a draw trick. Let's go ahead and give that here. We know we play stands. Let's see if we can get just enough to hit over the heal trigger, but we could not. The other good thing about this deck is that it does have cross ride, which is really good. So you got a nice 13k Vanguard, so not all of your opponent's rear guards are going to be able to smack you in the face. But the main reason why I wanted to go over this deck is, you know, I've just been messing around with it a little bit, and I guess I just wanted to make a point that just because something is from like Limit Break and it's not from the brand newest set that came out, you can still use it. You can still climb with it, because I've actually been able to climb with this deck, this set. Obviously there are quite a couple of issues with it, you know, it's not anything crazy strong like any of the other decks. And then, in addition to that, it also suffers from your opponents playing like resist units or anything like that, which a lot of units or a lot of clans have right now. So Bermuda and Aquaforce are kind of rough for you. But other than that, I mean, it's all right. The other, I guess, issue is sometimes Kagura and stuff like that that can get rid of your back row do make things a little bit more difficult for you. So let's see here. I can go into Vanquisher here. Or Conquest, that lets me kill Overlord, and then my front row gets power, which isn't, whoops, alright, I guess we're not doing that, alright. I was trying to read the card, but I accidentally, alright, that's fine. Let's just go ahead and do this, bind our stand trigger, okay, great. We're gonna leave that with power. And we're gonna actually play this, so it's a booster, and go ahead and swing in here. You definitely want to play at least something like stands. You can play more crits, or you can play crits instead if you'd like. But since you're binding the top cards of your deck so often, you're very likely going to deck out. So you don't really want to play a 9-draw. Especially now that you have access to a good G-Zone. Because I was actually playing this in set 1, G-Set 1, where all we had was the Cray Elementals, and I really never ever went into them because there was never really a reason to. But now that I have, you know, Stride Fodder and actually good strides to go into, you can actually use that as a valid option. But that also means you're going to be drawing 1 when you stride and then checking 3 cards. So definitely don't want to deck out. We're actually okay here because another sort of plus of being able to use your bind zone in this deck, even though you really only have 2 ways to use it, it's either getting the first Dungree or using Dan. But you can actually go ahead and fish out some cards from your bind zone and actually use them. So he actually wasn't able to do anything this turn. So this gives my front row power, which means I can play this and whatever I draw, rather than getting a crit. I think that's probably a little bit more important because he has 3 cards in hand, so might be able to wipe out his entire hand here. Let's go go into Conquest here, draw into that. That's not exactly what I wanted. But 5k does mean this still hits. Let's go ahead and use this effect here. I don't think it matters, but let's go ahead and kill that guy. Give my front row some power, and then let's just go to battle here. Pop all of these defensives. I know I binded 2 heals, and he used another one to block, so this should be... Oh no, he put it back. Okay, he put one of them back, and he managed to get it. Alright, thankfully we don't have any triggers here, so we don't have to worry about really decking out. He is going to use his last PG, or the last card in hand, which is a PG. Let's see if they can kill us this turn. I don't think that's necessarily possible, because I do have the 3 PGs in hand. And if they do play an intercept, I can actually just retire it. He is going to use the Grom for some reason. I don't think that really mattered. He does have to contest the Garuda. Let's see. Not going to be able to do much. I'm going to be able to just PG that very easily. And actually get myself an intercept. Which we'll just play here. So this will bind the top 1 card from my deck. Yeah, so I can actually use this. Or not. Or just win. You know, that's always good. Let's see. I have this turn. Oh my god. Oh no, it's not recovery. Okay. Whew. Because I just did we just did a match with the reverse Kai, who was Kagero, and then I had another match just now against another Kai, but it was the same skin, just not reversed. So I was like, oh haha, I beat him, and now he's not reversed. But then it was Kagero again. I was like, oh, I don't want to do this again. Just trying to find a different match. But I guess Narukami will have to do. So I guess this may or may not be Brawlers. We'll see. I don't know what it is that Vanquisher plays as their grade 0. But yeah, that's kind of just why I wanted to make this video. As I was saying, it's just, you know, just because it's not the latest and greatest doesn't mean that it's not good. You know, a lot of the stuff from Limit Break is still good. I mean, MLB is still, you know, something you can actually kind of play right now, right? That's interesting. Why would you ever need a Limit Break enabler? Interesting. Alright. Let's just, I guess, right... Well, actually, this is my... I only have 1 of these, just because I have 4 copies of my other grade 3s. I might go down the Garudas and maybe play something a little bit more interesting. Originally, I was playing the Desert Gunners, because I was basically trying to set up a situation where, towards the end of the game, oh, this must be using Vermilion. Interesting. I set up a situation where I had Dungree Unlimited. I would get rid of one of the front row, and then I would play one of the Gunners to get rid of the other front row, and then just go 3 times to the face. Which is, you know, nice and all, except the Gunners are kind of useless. Because their effect to seal away is nice if you're going to win that turn. And if we were maybe go back in time to when they were first released, they were pretty good because you can actually close out games like that. Kind of similar to like a Silent Tom in that sort of way where you can try to push for game. But now with your opponent being able to have heal guards in hand, it's not very likely you're going to be able to close out the game that way. Let's go into Dungree Unlimited. The last match I had did not get to get Dungree Unlimited, so it was actually kind of rough. So if he's playing Vermilion, I don't think he can retire my back row? Because I typically like to go into use Dandan's effect as soon as possible, because I know everyone likes to get rid of him. But I guess it's fine. I don't see myself getting another... yeah, I guess I'll get one of these. Since it is Vermilion, I'm probably going to lose a lot of my front row, right? I could try and test the waters by putting this down, but let me just not. If I don't hit a trigger and don't hit, that's fine. That's not what I was hoping to see, but that's fine. Oh boy. Okay. Whew. There we go. I managed to hit a trigger, so we're gonna be able to push some to 3. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to see another one of these, because the only other way to bind stuff, unfortunately, is using one of these Dungarees and Dandan. But Dandan is a bit of a liability because, you know, a lot of these decks can snipe your back row and stuff like that. There's a lot of retire going around right now, so try to tuck him away as soon as possible so I can make sure I get value out of him. Alright, they're trying to fill up their drop for Legion. Interesting. They're playing both of the grade 1 and grade 2 self-damagers, so okay. I guess because both of these are actually going to break 4, which is kind of interesting because you usually don't see it anymore. Wow, they're going hard to fill up their Legion right now, or to go into Legion right now. Kind of don't know if that was really worth it. Could have played a little bit slower, I think, and filled up a better drop zone. But alright, yeah, and could have like kept this guy for later, because now you're going to use it and you're just going to pay Counterblast 2 to get rid of my 1 grade 2. Which is, I mean, you're going to be able to push a little bit here, but I don't know if that was really worth it, to be honest with you. Could have definitely waited out. Probably could have closed out the game with that. But now, in order to get this thing's effect, you're gonna have to either re-Legion or get to Counterblast. But my hand is looking mighty thick here. I am gonna lose my stride fodder, which is a bit unfortunate. Let's. So we are at limit break, so we can actually go ahead and do that. But since this is a limit break, or sorry, since it's a Legion deck, might be a little bit more beneficial to go into this. Let's go ahead and get rid of these guys because I might not see more value out of them at the moment. Let's just go ahead and get rid of those. Go into our stride here, get stride fodder, I guess, in case I need to go into conquest. Play these two guys. And then just go ahead and attack here. So he doesn't really have anything useful in the drop aside from that Vanquisher, but we can go ahead and get rid of that, as well as the that grade 2 that lets him re-hit. Don't want him to have any of those. Both of our stands are in hand, which is a bit funny because next time we're going to be able to draw 2 and actually countercharge 2 if we use Dungree's effect. But yeah, so now they're in a situation where they do have limit break. They can use Vermilion's effect. They won't be able to kill me. They'll be able to use it. But if they wanted to use first time of that turn, oh, never mind. I thought they were gonna have to re-Legion. All right, I mean, I think the stride is going to the stride was still fine, even though they're not gonna be able to. They're not gonna re-Legion, but. It's interesting how that's worded. The first time of that turn. Can you restand? And I don't think you can now. Maybe in the future. But alright. I'm gonna get another heal trigger, which is good. That's kind of what's keeping me alive here. Thankfully, they are at 4 damage, so I can actually try and push next turn. I kind of regret discarding these guys, the gunners. But I don't think I'm going to be able to really push for massive numbers here. But we'll see what we can do. We're going to be able to draw 2. Alright, so we do have that. We can use Conquest. I can use Conquest, but I think I'd rather draw 2 at the moment. So we're going to play 2 of these. 1 here and 1 there. Play this here, and play this here. Go ahead and use Dungree's effect to get rid of it doesn't matter who. Bind a card. Pop that. Get ourselves a crit. Power up our back row. We're going to put this back to counter charge, and then put this back to counter charge yet again, and also draw another card, which unfortunately is a Rising Phoenix. I was hoping for something that can attack, but that's fine. We'll Soul Blast 2 here and get ourselves a Garuda. Perfect. Alright. Now we have to have some intercepts here. Go ahead and swing. And, I guess I could swing here. I did just put 2 stands back in deck, so there's a chance I might get it back. Or there's a chance that I might not even be able to hit at all. That's always great. That's just how it be. Very interesting to see Vermilion. But yeah, overall, I want to try and see if I can put some more decks with some of the older decks using some of the new support. So far, I've tried a couple of things like Labrador. Got an interesting set of buffs, but it's not very good. Unfortunately, I tried it. It's not great. It's not horrible. It's not great. And then Ramil Reverse got a small buff as well. I'm gonna see if I can try that. And then there were other cards that got like minor buffs in terms of like their attack. I don't know if those are really groundbreaking, but I'll see what I can do. Alright, so now, that's unfortunate. Do I have any grade 2s left in deck? I do have 2 grade 2s. I do have a grade 3. More than likely I might draw a stand. I think striding here might be the best bets. Right? Yeah, let's go ahead and stride. Just so we can try and draw one and see if we can actually do something here. Let's go ahead and go into Conquest Dragon. Draw a card. It is actually going to be a PG. That is fine. So we can move this up. We might as well play this, right? Use this to pop this. And boost our guys up a little bit. No point in playing the PG. It's not going to make a huge difference here. We can go ahead and attack here. He's going to heal guard. If I can just hit one stand, since I have triple drive, we're actually in a pretty good spot to do so. So let's go ahead and do that, and hopefully we can hit the other one, which is also very likely. There we go. Get another attack here. We'll just boost this one in case he gets a stand or heal trigger. And boom, we're actually going to win. That was actually crazy close, but thankfully I was able to stride it again and actually hit those double stands, otherwise I'd be in a rough spot. But in any case, that's been Dungree and G Set 2. Take care of yourself.